Look at me, I'm
In what is essentially a two-horse race at this point, Carson Wentz and Tom Brady are battling it out for Offensive Player of the Year honors. But what about on the other side of the ball? It's an interesting year, statistically speaking, as there isn't one guy who just leaps off the page on defense. Zach Brown leads their league in tackles, followed by Joe Schaubert. Kevin Byard has the most interceptions with 6, and Micah Hyde is the only player in the league with 5. But with respect to those 4 players, none of them are worthy of the Defensive Player of the Year title. As for sack numbers, Calais Campbell and Chandler Jones now lead the league with 12 apiece. There's no doubt a dozen sacks through 11 games is outstanding. But it isn't rare, as we have seen sack artists on pace to possibly threaten the all-time record 22.5 in years past, and Campbell and Jones are both projected to finish well shy of that number. There are great pass rushers in the NFL, but one doesn't currently stand above all others to grab a hold of the Defensive Player of the Year award. Here are some candidates to strongly consider, but it's safe to say that this is a tight race right now. Calais Campbell. As mentioned, Campbell leads the league in sacks. He's quite possibly been the best addition to a team this year at any position, providing a tough veteran presence to what is currently the NFL's best defense. The Jaguars' young core is swarming with talent, but it's perhaps Campbell who stands out the most. And he even scored a touchdown this week. Some may argue star cornerback Jalen Ramsey is more valuable to Jacksonville's defense than Campbell is. And while that's debatable, the general consensus seems to have Campbell at the top of the list for defensive point. Aaron Donald. Donald is the most disruptive interior player in football. He impacts games and defensive game plans more than any player in the NFL, and he does it at a remarkably consistent level, week after week, down after down. This is one of the best combinations of leverage, power, and quickness that has ever walked onto a football field. You mix all that with great effort and you have an extremely special player. Donald's ability to instantly penetrate is even more valuable in a league where teams are relying on quick passes more often than in the past. Flat out, Donald is the best defensive player in the league right now, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee him the award. Bobby Wagner, the underappreciated Seahawks linebacker, is probably having his best season as pro, and that's really saying something. Wagner, who has the 3rd most tackles in football, rarely gets the credit he deserves or is mentioned in the same conversation as other great pounds such as Luke Kuechly. But the fact is, Wagner is on a Hall of Fame pace and has been an absolutely critical component of one of the elite defenses of this generation. Wagner is better than ever right now, and is playing on a defense that's had to withstand several major injuries. This is a player without a discernible weakness, who excels against the run and the pass. He covers a ton of ground and is able to do anything and everything asked of him. Wagner has an extremely strong case for Defensive Player of the Year and was outstanding again in Week 12. He's a rock of consistency and production. The winner Aaron Donald, runner-up Bobby Wagner, honorable mention Joey Bosa, Jade Von Clowney, Everson Griffin, Casey Hayward, Cam Hayward, Chandler Jones, Cameron Jordan, Kuechly, Marshawn Lattimore, Von Miller, Patrick Peterson, Ramsey, Harrison Smith. Matt Williamson is a former scout for the Cleveland Browns and spent 10 years at ESPN as a scout and co-host of the Football Today podcast. Find him on Twitter at Williamson. Full doc photos courtesy Getty Images.